Welcome to The Actor's Choice, where the actors and actresses have a chance to talk about themselves and their careers. Join us now for the next hour as we explore the marvelous industry of acting by actors and actresses from today's exciting show business world. And now, direct from Hollywood, here's your host, Ron Brewington.
Hi, everybody. I'm Ron Brewington, and welcome to The Actor's Choice. Roll it, Tony.
I locked my phone in my car this morning, along with my keys and any hope for a normal day. Ooh, and probably my dignity, too.
Rocky, you're late.
Facts. Punctuality. Never was one of your strong suits, now was it, Raquel?
What have we here? Harry Harrington, the nephew corruptor, comic book guy, and the boy virgin.
Let me be great.
Perhaps you find yourself a Catwoman, and you think you got it.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have just seen the work of a filmmaker based here in Los Angeles. Now, he's won awards for his writing, directing, editing, and producing. This was his feature film director debut called Rocky's Galaxy. Please welcome Joshua Weathersby to The Actor's Choice. And also there's a lady sitting here too, Zuri Starks. She's here too.
Hello.
Is this a lady who's you just saw her in there just moments ago? I think you just saw her, so that was it. Who's she looking at? Question. We'll start with Joshua. What made you take on this film, Rocky's Galaxy?
Wow, that's a very interesting question. It was sort of a film of opportunity, if you will. We had started this concept during the pandemic, and the idea was sort of a resource-based filmmaking, like the idea of what we can get our hands on. I had a friend who owned a comic book store. We had another script that had kind of a more advanced version of this plot, with the monster attacking the city going on in the background. But we wanted to tell a more contained story, something that we could do while the pandemic was happening. And we tried very hard to get the right people involved and to be very safe while doing it. We were actually one of the first productions to use the COVID protocols during the pandemic. So it was just a very interesting set of challenges. And filmmaking is problem solving, and this was a very unique set of problems to solve.
Like a lot of work.
Oh, absolutely. And we had to keep the budget pretty svelte because we knew that, the budget could easily run away from us, especially with a bunch of new protocols going into effect, and extra people on set that we would have to pay for cleaning up and stuff like that, and wanting to keep everybody safe. That was kind of like the big thing. We wanted to make something and keep making art while the world was shutting down around us, but at the same time, we wanted to make sure that we could keep everybody safe on set.
Zuri, you were there on this out there. What did you think about that, putting that movie together?
It was so much fun. It was a lot of work, but it was a lot of fun. And it was one of the first times where I was on set and everyone was just so nice and so funny and so helpful. And something I really strive for is learning when I'm on set, not just about me as an actor, but everything that's going on behind the camera. And there are such incredible people there that were professionals and were willing to teach me things. So I learned a lot.
I noticed that when I looked you up, I saw that you started on the stage in the Midwest. So now you crossed over to the TV film work.
Yes, I am a Chicago girl through and through.
Yes.
My first love is theater. I love theater. My mom was really good about taking us to see theater performances, live, anything, just introducing us to these things. And I fell in love when I was 9. I saw Miracle on 34th Street in person, and I was just like, I want to do that. And I also loved musicals. I was the kid that was singing around the house when all the family barbecues were going on. I'm like singing a whole new world with my brother. But no, I love plays. I did them. I still do them. Yeah.
I love to hear that because I got a bone that I pick with a lot of people. They'll come here to LA. I want to be a star. Nothing wrong with that.
No.
But they only do television and film. They don't get up on that stage.
Yeah, it's a different beast. And I feel like every prominent actor is like, if you want to be good, do theater.
Okay. Now, Joshua, your movie right now is in post-production, I understand?
We're actually, yeah, we've been done with post production. We found a distributor, and we will be releasing very soon.
Okay. Let's see. You're the founder of Endless Mile Studios. I read that with interest because you and your father, you guys have been around a long time. You all know how to do it in this business. And you start up with a full service production and transmedia company focused on inclusive storytelling across the spectrum of media. Wow, that says a lot.
But at the same time, it doesn't quite say everything. I mean, my father has been a person who has opened a lot of doors for people in this business. And I myself, certainly want to kind of continue that as a family tradition. And I've opened my company up to people who feel like they haven't had a fair shake or a fair shot in this business, whether it's because they feel like they're discriminated against because of the color of their skin, their sexual orientation. I don't let labels and things like that stand in the way of creating good art. And I try to represent that in the stories that we tell on screen as well. My world has always been suffused with people from all different backgrounds. That includes myself. I'm multi-ethnic, being Creole and Polish Jewish and all that. But other people in my life, I've had friends who are Japanese, Chinese, Japanese and Irish. I've had other mixed friends who are like Hispanic and Black or Hispanic and Jewish. And my world does not just include Black and white. And just strictly cisgendered straight people. My house growing up in Little Zion, Illinois, even though I was born out here, my mom being who she was, both a teacher and a journalist, our house was a refuge for anybody who would come out to their parents and got kicked out of the house. So they knew that they could come hang at my family's house and be safe and taken care of. And that was a thing growing up in the 80s and the 90s that happened a lot. And that's something that I've carried on through adulthood, is looking out for other people in my community who feel disenfranchised, who feel left out, the other, the geeks, the nerds, if you will.
Right, the geeks. Zuri, here's a question for you. AI, what do you think about AI?
I think it's a great tool for people who need it, for people who are able-bodied and use it as a tool for speaking or requesting things or asking for help. I think it's a detriment to the entertainment industry in terms of replacing actors, replacing people who are also behind the screen, because that's what makes our art great and unique and different and necessary. We care about people. People go to see people be people. We don't go to see robots attempt to be people. No, we don't do that. So that's how I feel about it.
Okay. What do you think, sir?
It's a tool like any other tool. Listen, when we automated auto factories, we replaced assembly lines of people with assembly lines of robotic arms. Now, I don't see that as sort of a one-to-one transfer happening in Hollywood, but there are some things behind the scenes that are going to get less expensive because the AI tools will either save time or produce, a certain set of results within expectations. I've watched it happen with the transition from film to digital media. There was a transitionary period. There was people were getting paid less for certain things because the perception was that certain like telecine processes and stuff would happen faster because you didn't have to actually like burn your film to digital to do nonlinear editing anymore. You could go straight from the drive but there was still transcoding, which was kind of like telecine, but it was, you're taking one data file, making it into another data file so that your post-production software can read it and utilize it. And these kinds of changes happen within a lot of industries, but like anything cool, I see it integrating itself more into the tools that we currently already use. And I don't see it replacing anyone's job anytime soon. Much like Zuri said, man, people put down their money to see people pretending to be other people.
Sorry, how do you keep your creativity alive out in this industry? How do you do that?
Mm, honestly, seeing plays, um, going to class. I also believe in doing creative things outside of my career that have absolutely nothing to do with my career, and therefore there's no result orientation about it. So I love to do pottery. I knit. I like to upcycle things. I literally, you can't tell, but I painted my wall behind me. So anything I can really sort of get my hands in, because I think being able to create things with your hands is so tribal and so ancestral and necessary. And I feel like you have a different appreciation for it and you take care of it differently. So that's, I guess, how I keep my creativity alive. And traveling. There's so much to see and witness that I can take from that and put into my creative world because we all live differently. I mean, at the essence, we're human beings, but how our cultures are different and what we need and value in society within these cultures differs a little bit sometimes.
Good answer there. Sir, I see that you also had a music video career.
Well, I had a pretty illustrious post production career, editing a lot of things, in particular music videos for several clients. Thanks to the various places that I've worked in town, I got a lot of exposure to some very popular artists and was able to, do a lot of editing and effects work on their music videos. And I've even directed a few music videos myself. Some of my mentors in this business were music video editors. And, being kind of a child of the 90s, like, one of my earliest filmmaking goals or benchmarks was to, work on music videos that would end up on MTV. And I've worked on set on music videos. I've worked behind the scenes on music videos. I've done every job there is to do on set and behind and in post production for a music video. So it's something. It's its own kind of short film. And the culture around music videos, even though they are very much a promotional piece for a musical artist, those of us that were really into them back in the day were very much into the storytelling of music videos and the potential they had as very, very short films.
Okay. Zuri, how does your family and friends feel about what you do for a living?
Oh my gosh. Ay, ay, ay. I love them. I say ay, ay, ay because they're very, very supportive and they're just lovely people. And it's funny. I think half of them are like, I'm not surprised you moved to LA and are doing this. And the other half are like, when's your next thing I can watch? So I have a very beautiful and massive support system. And I love them. I appreciate them. They literally like blow up my phone all the time. Whenever they see something or share something. So it's very lovely and nice and warm. Just sometimes, mom, relax.
As I always tell people, you have 1,000 fathers, but you only get one mom.
There was this, I can say this because the project's out now, but I told her I had booked something and I'd be filming XYZ whenever. And she immediately told our family group chat. And I was like, woman, I sign NDAs. You can't just be telling people these things. And ever since, she always checks in. So, boundaries are great. Having that open line of communication is so important with your family and friends when it comes to, secrets.
Yes, ma'am. We only got a few more moments left and we don't want to waste it. Tony, would you please roll Rocky's glasses?
There is a large creature described as a kaiju rampaging through the city. There has been no response from the military as of yet, which is making me question why I pay my taxes.
Is this the new Godzilla or the new Cloverfield? Randall!
Oh boy!
You suck! Several!
Good work. Good work. Hope that you will do well with this one and other one, Joshua, Zuri. I want to thank the both of you for being here today. I wish we had the very best in what you do in the future. I want to thank you in the future. Thank you, gentlemen. CEO, what's the name? Maureen? No, name? Known him for a long, long time, Lester. I've known Lester for a long, long time. I want to thank him for setting up the appearance today. Okay.
Thank
Will
you
do.
so much.
Joshua
Appreciate
Weathersby and Zuri Starks, bless you. Take care of yourself.
you too.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay. This is the Actor's Choice. I'm your host, Ron Brewington. Roll it, Tony.
How I would describe Regina.
I'm the publisher of Soul, and I don't use
publisher. She's a black American woman doing things that other women aren't doing in this time.
You were the black couple moving up the ladder of success. They were the first African American music and arts magazine on the scene, and the one who ran the ship.
All I got to say is one thing, and that is, who in the hell is Regina Jones? Who is that lady? I've known her for a long, long time. I'm real happy today to have her as well as the co-person. I've known this lady for a number of years, subject of a fabulous documentary film. It seems that a group of folks got together, and here's what they said. Before Rolling Stones, there was Soul newspaper. Behind Soul, there was Regina Jones. And they ended by saying, against all odds, Regina blazed her own path, and at 80 has found herself again. I wonder where she got that from.
Hi.
That's an original one. It came out of a lot of places. We can put it that way. My goodness. Soraya, nice meeting you, madam. You are the co-director.
Yes.
Look at that. Look at that. That's beautiful. That's the way you do it. You get up in front of it. And there's a word that I love to use so well. You guys call it, sometimes y'all call it documentary. I call it doc. I know some of you call it doc too. I know that. People just do that. Yes, Miss Ma'am. Ms. Jones.
Oh, hi, Ron. I just am glad to be here. Good to see
I thought you were going to say something. Okay.
No, other than, we've been knowing each other 50 years.
Something like that. Yeah, a time or two. Okay. Here's a question. What do you hope people will take away from watching this film?
Personally, the reason I did the film and the reason I'm willing to talk and share my story is because if any of the things that happened in my life affected any other people, I always kept getting back up. So anyone that watches that documentary, hopefully they'll see themselves and the need to just repeatedly, you can get knocked down, you can trip and fall, anything can happen. Yes. But what we have to do is just keep getting up. And we're not alone. Anything that happens to us and we think it's just us or be ashamed or embarrassed, no, we're not alone. Everybody has done almost the same thing one way or the other.
Soraya, how did you two ladies meet?
Yeah, let me tell you about that story. I also want to answer the first question because my hope that what audience get from this film is what I've gotten from making the film and getting to know Regina, which is really valuing the wisdom of our elders and the lived experience, and learning from those experiences and the wisdom amassed through a lifetime, and also valuing all this invisible labor of women, and particularly women of color, that often goes unseen, that Regina has done so much of with such grace. So that is my hope and what I've gotten from making the film, and why I'm so grateful to have met Regina and become good friends, and putting this film out for others to experience that as well. So the way I met Regina is I came on one day as a cinematographer, because I'm a director and a cinematographer, but my co-director, Billy Miasi, had been filming for about a year prior. And the story started very differently because he was looking to make a film about 3 different time periods in Los Angeles and finding different reporters reporting about the uprisings. So in this case, Watts and Rodney King, and then the more recent BLM. And through an article in the Los Angeles Times that Regina wrote, 25 years after the Watts Rebellion, he discovered Regina's story, and in interviewing her, realized that her story was much more fascinating than the story he was originally set out to tell, which was a short film. So as he started filming, I came on. I'm the one in Los Angeles. Our team is all over the world, really. And when I came on, I immediately was just gravitated to the story, and Billy and I got along really well and had the same vision for the direction we wanted to take this in.
Where did you actually do the shooting at? Where are the locations at?
Well, mostly in Regina's home. So I'm very familiar with all the rooms in Regina's home, and then also just around Los Angeles, where Regina had family and spent some time and had community. So we filmed at her cousin's restaurant, and we filmed at the community center. And then, of course, there's just all the historical footage, and then her own archives of Super 8, which were an amazing find for our documentary.
Gotcha. As you ladies know, we've had a fire here in the area. How do you feel about that?
I'm devastated because I know so many people who have either lost their homes or evacuated and have no clue when they'll get back. And I even lost a cousin, just a first cousin, but we just hadn't been in communication in decades, who died in the fire because he refused to go out to leave Rodney Nickerson. And I'm trying to figure out things I can do and contribute, because I think that's a responsibility that we all have, because it could happen to any one of us.
That's it. I think one of the best things that happened so far was that we had rain all day yesterday. That helped a lot. You got mud, but you got rid of that.
Yeah, I think the thing to hold on to is how community comes together in times like these.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been living in Los Angeles for almost 19 years now, so it's my adopted city, and it's the kind of thing that there's those who are obviously immediately affected, but we all feel it as a community, and we're seeing a lot of outpouring of kindness and help, and that's really wonderful to see.
We got a couple of posters that you've put out there. Here's one of them, Tony. There's something that you put together. Oh, that tells you a whole lot of work. Look at the people, famous people, a lot of people over the years. Can you go to the next picture, Tony? That's also, there you go, pieces of my life. That says a lot. Writing a book and then putting it on a documentary. That is beautiful. A lot of research had to go in there for you, right, Soraya?
Yes, and when we talk about collaboration, it's not just between the filmmakers. I mean, our main collaborator is Regina, and a lot of that research and a lot of those archives are her own. So all those wonderful posters that you showed right there, I mean, that's all from Soul Magazine, which really was ahead of its time in many ways, but also, stylistically, they're beautiful covers. And Regina was a photographer herself, and took a lot of these photographs of community and people, well, musicians, artists, but also of family. And we just had such a richness of material. It really was a documentarian's kind of dream to work with someone as a participant who also was a collaborator in finding us all this material.
How did you and your co-director, Billy Mosey, come into this story?
Well, Billy, I mean, it was a really great collaboration and marriage of certain skill sets, in that he has told a lot of these stories, these historical moments, but through very human stories. So he was interested in this historical moment and then finding sort of a character to bring that moment to life. I, as a director and a cinematographer, bring a certain visual language and an understanding of sort of storytelling from that perspective. And I think that that collaboration worked out really well. And, you know, like I said, he found Regina through this article that she wrote. And then her writing became such a part of this story and sort of like the structural framework for our story. So again, pointing to the collaboration with Regina, it all comes back to Regina.
She knows how to write.
Well, Ron, it's right. It's not the writing. It's I love people, and I've always loved people. And meeting Billy was lovely, and I took to him right away. I feel like he's family, and the same with Soraya and her children. And just my whole life led to whatever this moment is. I would not have planned a documentary on myself or tried to put one together, or I don't think I would have agreed to one had it not been we were doing a story on the Watts riots, and I said, okay, and we got started. I was going to be one of many doing it, and then I got comfortable with Billy. So then as he asked more, and then Soraya came in with her real sensibility of a woman's story and what it really takes for us to achieve and accomplish things, and the work with balancing that with the family. And, and I came before the women of today when really there were not many peers, if any, to talk to share with. So I learned a lot working with these young people on how much caring and love and professionalism they showed. And that kept me going. And we also had behind us the producer, Alyssa Shapiro, who believed in it and, who basically had all the responsibility on her shoulders. And the other people that helped, the editor who was, I don't remember Soraya, what city she lives in, what country?
Oh, Nancy Novak. She lives in Lisbon, Portugal.
So it was all over the world. So that brought me into the new age and the current way things work. And my grandson is the reason there's Soul archives that are so organized and everything. He's been working on it for 2 decades, probably.
Wow.
Left to me, it would be scattered, lost, and who knows where it would be, other than UCLA, which I, thank God, put a bunch of it there. So I'm thrilled that this has happened. I'm honored. And I just, I'm nervous wreck every time we do something like this. Like I said, I like being a publicist and behind the scenes. We'll have another screening coming up on October 10th, October 11th on a Tuesday at the Pan-African Film Festival at 4:20 p.m. And I know Babu, who started that over 30 years ago. I met him in 1983 up at Solar Records, where I was given a new start after Soul had failed by Dick Griffey, who hired me. And I said, I don't know how to do PR. He said, I'm willing to pay you for 6 months to prove that you do. And I said, when do I start? So there's been blessings, like my publication died, my marriage died, my mother died, all 80, 81, 82. And then 83, Dick Griffey comes to me and offers me a whole new career. This documentary is like this. I didn't go searching for it. It came to me. It's like I did PR after Dick Griffey because Willis Edwards came to me, and I did the NAACP Image Awards TV shows.
Yeah, brother.
13 years.
You mean I got, yeah, brother?
Huh?
I got to always say, yeah, brother.
Yeah, brother. Brother.
Yes. Oh my God.
I've lived a blessed life, but I've also had major hurts, disappointments, losses. And I just realized there's balance. It's the wisdom of growing older. With negative things, they're positive things, but you got to be able to accept the positive things and get your ass back up and put in the work that's necessary. And I've been blessed to do that for whatever reason. It's a gift. And just like you interviewing me and Soraya here, putting us on your show, that's a gift. I don't take these kind of things for granted. I appreciate.
I'm choking when you say that. I'm choking when you say that. We only have a few more minutes. Let's at least put up on the screen the people who put the word in. Here's Nancy Novak, the editor.
Excellent, wonderful editor.
Okay. Alisa Salmon.
Selman, yes. Alyssa Selman was the co-editor, and I mean she carved out from massive amounts of material the real kind of nuggets of the moments. So very indebted to Lisa as well.
Salmon D. Pollard.
Yeah, Sam Pollard. He's an extremely accomplished documentarian that we were very fortunate to have come on as our executive producer.
But last but not least, Alisa Shapiro.
Yes, Alyssa Shapiro. It's very confusing. We have an Alisa and an Alyssa. So this is the Alyssa. Oh, yes. I mean, really brought us all together and is like the workhorse behind and doing so much more than we even know. But we are constantly getting updates about future screenings that we're really excited about. As Regina said, we'll be at the Pan-African Film Festival on February 11th at 4:20 at the Culver Theater. We'll be screening in New York at the Athena Festival, Cleveland International Film Festival. And this weekend, in fact, we'll be at the National Gallery of Art in Washington, D.C., which is a real honor. So we're just so excited that this film is finding its audience and just building momentum.
Excellent. Excellent. Before you ladies get out of here, you got to play one more once. Who in the hell is Regina Jones?
Well, I've got to add one thing. I'm going to be interviewed or talking at the EBEL, Wilshire EBEL, that I'm a member, a women's group that's been around for over 100 years, on Monday, February the 10th at a luncheon. And it's based on the documentary and my membership there over the years and the support of women. I love you men. You guys are fabulous and you've been good to me all my life, okay? But women is the power that has kept me going. And when we come together and stick together and support and lift one another up and keep one another standing, it's the most powerful force in the world, because it's quite an experience being a woman. And it hasn't changed from the pre-medieval things that society has set up, that women are still the slaves to the world. And we still haven't gotten anything near what we deserve for the work that we have put in and how we have been taken for granted over the years.
And you have a February 10th, you'll have a Monday lunch in conversation.
Monday lunch.
Yes. How do you get tickets?
Go online for the Wilshire EBEL, and it's right there under upcoming events. And it's lunch and conversation between myself and Karen Grigsby Bates from NPR, who I prefer the conversational way of doing things versus me being a speaker, because that's not my forte.
Right. Ladies, thank you so very, very much for coming in today. We really appreciate it. I wish we had more time, but we have some more. We have a handsome young man knocking at the door. But ladies, I want to say thank you both for what you did today. God bless you, Regina Jones and Soraya Selele.
God bless you, Ron, and thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ron, for having us. Have a beautiful day.
Good luck to you. Good luck.
Thank you.
Okay. This is the Actor's Choice. I'm your host, Ron Brewington. Roll it, Tony.
If you were wondering, those guys don't live there. Don't bother calling the police. They hardly ever come in time. What this neighborhood needs is a miracle. Someone or something to breathe life back into this community.
Hey, there he is. Can you hear me? All right, beautiful.
Man, a little thing here. Where did it go? Oh, there it is. Ladies and gentlemen, a special guest that I've known for a long time is in the house. He's an actor with 80 credits plus. He's a producer with a lot of work behind him. He's a writer, a casting director, and oh, one more thing, he's a self. The man knows a lot of things about. You just saw a special film that he did. Just want you to see it, folks, because he's out there. Please welcome an outstanding actor. Here we go. Raymond Forchison. Forchison. I love to pronounce that last name.
You pronounce it correctly. Most people say fortune.
Okay. As long as they don't mess up my checking card.
Thank you.
Okay. Where were you born at, sir?
Hey, say again?
Where were you born at, sir?
Oh, yes. I'm from Morristown, New Jersey.
Okay.
I'm a Jersey boy initially and then spent a lot of time in Miami. And then I've been here in Los Angeles for about 35 years. So I guess that makes me an Angelino at this point.
At this point. By the way, that Tulantula, was that the one that you was, because I know you said.
Yes, that was shown on the Sci-Fi Channel. In fact, I think it's on there now. So folks can check it out if they like.
My goodness. You have been there, done that. This what
and just so that you know, in terms of credits,
yes,
it's more than 80 because I didn't include some of the stuff I've done off camera and also a lot of commercial work also. I've worked in almost every facet of this thing, stage, that sort of thing. Yeah.
And it works well for you because if you look at this gentleman's bio, he has been in a lot of places, a lot of producer, director, all these different things.
Can't find a steady job. I'd love to have been on a series for 10 years,
Wow. Got any other jokes? Because I don't believe that one. What made you come into this business?
Oh, well, I've always wanted to act. I actually began acting in church, as a matter of fact, when I was, good grief, 7 years old. So I've been doing it now over 50 years. I could say more, but I won't.
Tell them about it.
Yeah, man.
Some of the roles, you've done a lot of roles. What do you look for when you offer an opportunity?
Well, usually it's not so much what I look for because I'll be honest, I'm a journeyman actor. So I'll take almost everything that I feel I can take, a role that I feel I'll be good in, and a role I believe in. I've only passed on a few roles that I thought were derogatory or roles that I felt, hey, there's somebody better than me to do this. So basically I'm open to everything. Basically, bless you. I'm open to everything, really.
Wow. So what keep you going? I mean, you came into this business in 1977.
No. I came in before that. I joined the Guild in 77.
Okay.
I've been acting literally since I was about 7 years old. And that was before, because I had gone to college and the whole thing. And then that's when I came into the Screen Actors Guild, which is from 77. But I've been acting all my life. Yeah. And I was blessed. And I was blessed because I also had a support system. Okay. I had my father who passed when I was only 8. Okay, but my mother supported me and supported my acting. And then as I got older, when my mother got ill at the age, I was 14 when she passed, but I moved in with my brother who lived in Miami, Florida. And my brother supported me. They helped me to go to a high school that had a top-notch theater department as well as a top-notch radio department at that time. And so I could just kind of continue what I knew my path was.
Okay.
See, I believe that people basically need to follow their path. Like, I think a lot of people know right off the bat what they want to do. And most of life comes along to try to convince them to do something else.
I should.
Do you know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
I think that's from God. My faith has been a great support for me.
Indeed. His first run it was called The African Queen. That was the first one you got.
That was the first movie on television that I did.
Yes.
Where I played a specific role. But before that, I had done a bunch of extra work, or as we like to call it now, background work. because I always felt, look, I want to get on a set and find out how things work, find out what people do. So I was one of those actors who, even when I was doing background stuff, and this is way back in Miami, Florida, I would be the guy hanging close to the set. I wasn't off at, well, back then you didn't really have the cell phones to be distracted. So I would be right by the set. Like if somebody said, hey, where is that? I would be there. You know? And so that taught me just what a set was like so that I'm comfortable on a set. It's the first time a lot of actors are on a set. They're, you know, it's intimidating. Like one of the most intimidating things that can happen to you, you know, is a camera basically has a zoom lens. So the camera can be back away from you. But sometimes when they're using a shorter lens or that camera moves in close to you, that's intimidating the first time when you can look in the lens and see yourself. You know what I mean? So you want to be comfortable in the environment. One of the things, for a while, I was able to attend the Directors Guild, and I would go there often. And one of the things that I loved was seeing directors go there with their family, or like to see a director who's taking his daughter or bringing his little son. And you realize that they have an advantage over most of us because by the time they're 12 years old, they kind of know what it's about. It's a family business. And a lot of times actors, I think, forget that. You know, that when the studios were created right at the very beginning, you know, they were family businesses, the Warner Brothers. Do you know what I mean? It was a handful of people. It's a nepotistic business.
Folks, I hope y'all taking
what you
down
want to
notes.
do.
Say again? I hope people are taking down notes because you're saying a lot of stuff right now.
Oh, yeah. But here's the deal. I look at it this way. If I owned a donut shop and I was about to move on or about to retire, would I leave my donut shop to a complete stranger? Or would I want my son, my daughter, my nieces, my nephews to have the business? The movie industry is the same way. What I believe individual actors need to do is expand their nepotistic net. So that they become one of the people that people feel are reliable, and there's a lot of different ways to do that. So that when they think of an actor, the biggest task I think every individual actor has is you want your team, the people around you, to think of you. Think about it. If you have 5 casting directors who cast a lot, who believe in you, you don't need 300 casting directors. You only need the 5 who believe in you, who bring you in, give you an opportunity. The average actor doesn't do 5 good roles in a year. Denzel may, but even Denzel is very specific and his roles are larger. So even it's rare to see Denzel in 5 movies in a year. You know, I use him as he's one of the guys I look up to and admire so much. He's an inspiration because we're about the same age. He's like about a year older, but I watched the quality of his work. And I had the opportunity once to meet with the great Sidney Poitier. Not meet with him, but I was in a class at the American Film Institute where he came in. And one of the things he said was he also said to your first question about what is it that makes you choose a role or what that sort of thing. He said he always wanted to choose a role that his father would be proud of if he saw him in the role. And that keeps you working at a certain level. And a lot of times there are a lot of roles that are below that level. You know, and you have to weigh it for yourself. And I have no criticism of anybody who wants to do anything, but you have to know for you what it is you want to do as an actor.
As you know, the latest upcoming job that you've got right now, I found out, is called Do Penance. It's in development role of
yes, that I'm looking to actually direct.
Yes, you went
and possibly play the lead character, but that's look, all of that is pure talk until the money's in place. You know? And that's another thing I think actors have to understand is everything is in flux.
Yes.
Until you're booked and working.
Yes.
And like one of the things actors have come into contact with, especially ever since the pandemic, is that there's been an expansion of what's called a veil.
Yes.
And that's where everybody's excited. Hey, they've checked your availability from March through the end of June. That doesn't mean you're going to work from March to the end of June. It means that maybe you'll be the person on a veil that they decide to hire who may work 1 or 2 days somewhere in that period. That's the way actors, that's what actors have to deal with.
Yes.
Oh,
God, we're running out of time. Here's a last question. What are your thoughts about AI, artificial intelligence?
I think it's a great tool and it's something to terrify everyone. Only because I think in the end, the only true regulation of it is going to be government regulation, which I don't think we're going to have anytime soon. But I think any technology is a tool. My grandfather on my mother's side was a very successful blacksmith in Richmond, Virginia. That was fine until cars came along. And the work began to be less and less and less. Thank goodness my grandmother and my mother's family were educators, so they had jobs within the school system and stuff like that. But times change and you have to be on top of the times. It's just like I remember a time when there were no cell phones. I think we were both alive in that time, even though you look very young, my friend.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I'll give you
and so now we have a library in our pocket.
Yes. Yes, indeed.
That was, I wrote one scene in another script of mine called 13th Kill, where the one of the characters goes to a phone booth and makes a call. Try to find a phone booth now. So that automatically makes the movie a period piece, which automatically, if we keep it in that period, brings the budget up because you've got to make the movie look like it's 1980. So what I've got to do with that script now is to update the script so that he goes and he buys a burner to make the call he needs to make. You have to adjust. So we have to adjust to AI. Artificial intelligence. Hey, if you've got Google on your phone, you're using AI.
Raymond, unfortunately, I wish we got to bring it once again. Got to bring you back again and again and again.
There's so much I would like to share. We've talked about this.
Yes. When you gonna write a book?
But I understand your time constraints.
When you gonna write a book?
Oh, I've already written it. It's called The Acting Bible.
Okay. How do you get it?
It can be reached through me.
Okay, and
because I prepare it for people who want it, but it's also a part of a seminar that I do for actors. It's geared on acting, but it's also geared on the business. On actors have to survive.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And that's kind of what it's about. It's a little bit different. It's from an actor who actually acts, as opposed to a lot of seminars and courses are taught by people who don't actually act. I mean, but that's what that's about. But that's another discussion for another time.
Okay. Raymond Forchison, thank you very much. Take care.
Godspeed, my friend. And I got to give you a prop. Whenever I talk about you, this is the man who got Marvin Gaye his star on the Walk of Fame.
We'll see if we can get one for you.
Hey, God bless you, man. Yeah. And also, one last thing. You got to hear October London.
Okay.
He's like the rebirth of Marvin Gaye.
Okay.
And Snoop Dogg is one of his producers.
Okay.
Yeah. This kid is if they do a Marvin movie, he could play him and do the singing. I'll send you so you can hear him.
Okay. Much thanks to all our guests today. Producer, director Joshua Weathersby, actress Zuri Starks, writer, director Regina Jones, director.
Hey.
Yeah, there she is. Cinematographer Soraya Selele, and actor, producer, writer Raymond Forchison. The Actor's Choice is a presentation of B&B Productions. Rudolph Brewington is the president, and special thanks goes to my ever-growing audience. I'm Ron Brewington, and we'll see you the next time. Thank you all. Thank you.